Bianca with Leaders in Business podcast, where CEOs and executives in the digital marketing and social media space share their best advice. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know what they're talking about. So let's get to it. In a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me, Bianca. My name is Austin Chu. I'm a digital marketing specialist, consultant. I'm also an educator, entrepreneur, write a lot of different titles in this field. A lot of work that I do is I help businesses and brands work on their social media campaigns, social media platforms, and help manage them, consulting as well. So I wear a lot of different hats. I work with a lot of different industries. I work with restaurants, I work in sports marketing, I work in insurance, whatever is kind of thrown at me. I love the different projects that I'm able to work on with the different industries and companies.
Well, that's impressive. So what's the best thing about leading your business?
I think being able to wake up and being passionate about what you do. I know it sounds cliche. I know people say it all the time. But when I say I wear different hats, right? I have a full-time job. I'm an educator, and I also run my own marketing business. So if I wasn't passionate about both, I'm 3 years out of college, and I started this in college. And I think that being able to really verbalize and just kind of really be passionate about the fields and the people that I work with, I think really made it exciting. I think building relationships is really important with your clients, and just being able to translate into the work that you provide for them, right? Being able to execute and really deliver on the things that you promised that you would work with them on or help them improve. So I think that's the best part of it, best of both worlds.
Yeah, that's true. I totally agree with that. So I hear from others that it can be challenging to grow your business today with everything that is going on. So what are the biggest challenges you see business leaders facing today?
Yeah, especially in my area of work, right? Everyone knows the importance of social media, to be on social media, right? And I think that following part is really important, is really difficult sometimes, as well as it is important. I think people think that they're gonna wake up overnight and have a bunch of followers and have this huge following, and this engagement is gonna be through the roof. And it takes a lot of hard work. I think it takes a lot of persistence. I think it takes a lot of work behind the scenes for you to be able to really excel in that and to really grow your following. A lot of people who do it well, right, have these genuine relationships in real life that they're able to translate onto social media. And your followers are very aware of that. And if they see any type of content that is not very genuine to your brand and that is not very true to who you are, then they're not going to follow you. On the contrary, people who follow you see that you have a story and you're sticking to it and you're sticking to your brand and you're being genuine and honest about it, whether you're in sports, whether you're a restaurant chain, whatever it is. People are really going to see that and they're going to cling to that. And that's how I think you're going to really grow your following.
Yeah, absolutely. So what is the best advice that you can give to other business leaders about creating a successful business?
I think at the end of the day, I think it's all about relationship building, right? I think that a lot of the business that I get, I don't really market myself outside of LinkedIn or through word of mouth. And I think that back to kind of like the passion, if I wasn't passionate about the projects that I was working on, if I wasn't giving my all because I was just genuinely excited about the project that I was doing, I don't think that, businesses, I don't think I would be where I am today, right? I think having genuine connection, whether I'm working on a 6-month project, whether I'm working on a 2-year project, whatever the case may be, having a genuine connection with your client, really understanding what their end products are, where their goals are, and being able to deliver on them is something that I take really, that I find really important, and that I try to do every single project that I work on, whether it's, like I said, whether it's a short-term or a long-term project. And because of those relationships, I think, my reputation is on the line, right? And just having that reputation of, being the positive business leader that I am, being able to deliver on what I promised to my client is really important. And so I think, that's what's really important at the end of the day.
Yeah. So you mentioned about relationship building, and we all know that in a business, relationship is very important. So can you give like 3 tips you would give for a business leader to achieve that?
Yeah. I think that first of all, being available, right? And so I work with a very small team, and just uh, just being very available to the client, right? I always respond right away, or I call them back, send them a text saying, "Hey, I will get to you. I'll get back to you in a certain amount of time," being very specific and making sure that I'm really listening, right? I think that a lot of times we're rushing through things, we're skipping over things, and I think that to a certain extent, right? I'm a perfectionist, so I really want to make sure I have the details down while being very realistic about the timeline of things, and while being making sure that we're staying on track and everything. So I think listening is super key. I think another thing is being honest with them, right? Being honest about the timeline, being honest with the questions you have. If I'm not sure about something, I'm asking questions, right? I was always the person in school re-clarifying, seeing the teacher after class, right? Getting those questions answered down so that I could do the job well, right? If you're not getting those questions answered, and then you kind of come to the end product and the client's like, this is not what I was looking for, then you're in trouble, right? So making sure those questions are answered. And third, having that genuine connection, right? All the relationships I have, right, are business relationships. But at the same time, you want to make sure that your client knows that you're invested in the project, right? You care about it. You're not just checking it off the list, that you really want it to succeed. And so telling them that, showing them that through your work, I think is just really key when working with any type of client.
Well, that's fantastic. So, what other successful business leaders like yourself would you like to acknowledge and should be on the podcast?
You know what? I think there are so many, big stars out there and people who are doing big things. But honestly, I love listening to podcasts and podcasts who feature, everyday entrepreneurs, right? There are thousands, so many people out there who are just hustling and who are kind of figuring out their brand, finding their niche of clients. And I think that I love hearing those everyday stories because I can relate to them, right? Working with a 2-3 person team, starting it from the ground, just pure solid entrepreneurship, right? The challenges, the successes, the wins, the losses. I really bond with that community, and I think I learn from them a ton. So I think I would just love to hear from everyday entrepreneurs, everyday marketers, because I'm inspired by them.
Awesome. So, now for the final fun question. Who is the most interesting person to follow to on social media and why?
Yeah, this was definitely the hardest question for me. I think I follow a wide range of people. I have so many interests, but I picked three. I hope that's okay. I'll go through them really quickly. So I think that first of all, like because I'm an educator as well, I have that educator hat. There's this Instagram page called The Conscious Kid, and I think that it has fantastic resources about the racial tensions that we have in our society today. There's fantastic resources for families, for students, for anyone actually. So I've learned a ton from them. Another passion of mine, just outside of business, outside of marketing, is cooking, right? So I think that there's a ton of people that I follow, but I would highly suggest following David Chang. He's awesome, he's hilarious. And then Tabitha Brown, who is also very genuine, very funny. And yeah, those are the people that I would recommend that you follow.
Yeah, so it was a pleasure having you on. How can people find you?
You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Austin Chu, LinkedIn. I'm based in Chicago. Happy to connect with you.
Well, that's a wrap. This is Bianca with the Leaders in Business Podcast. For more insights and ideas, go to our website, leadersinbusinesspodcast.com. Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.